if this doesn't sum up what happened tonight, Danger Dean's last comment in chat, or second to last comment, if one person punches me in the mouth, I swear to Christ.
We need to get Dean like a Pope mobile that he sits in, and he's just protective glass all the time. It's dangerous being president.
How he feels about getting punched in the mouth is how I feel about getting kidnapped twice already. So I don't want to hear him crying about getting punched in the mouth.
He has a point, Dean.
He does. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Dudes and Belts Recharge Post Show here on Twitch. I see chat is very lively tonight. I am your host, Johnny Deathdrop, and we have one hell of a charge to get to. I believe it's the second to last charge before peak of the pack. Ladies and gentlemen, we're getting down to the wire here. Before we get into everything that happened about 15 minutes ago on charge, let's introduce the panel for the evening. On the left, we have the one that lives way up there on the east coast of Maine, the inventor of the Beacon of the Week, the one and only Coastal Crusader.
What is going on, everybody? And I know one thing now, if I come out for Milestone this year, I am putting an air tag on me somewhere so I can be found, because people tend to go missing at RMP lately.
And on the right, he is the voice of Ignition. He is the encyclopedia of Rocky Mountain Pro, and he is the only person to live through not one, but two David Drake kidnappings, the one and only Lucas Bradwell.
Yes, I feel like I should go buy a couple of lottery tickets. I've been much luckier, I guess, than some of these other people. I mean, what the hell is going on? And I've got some words for Dean later on too. Dean knows I love him, but we gotta have a talk.
Yeah.
Are you calling out the president here on this show now too?
I might be. I don't. I'm getting worried for the well-being of everyone. I don't think anyone is safe right now.
I mean, I understand you had a rough couple months, man, but that's
Johnny.
That's El Presidente right
out
there.
Of the Wimmer and tarps.
Yeah. Yeah, it's getting to be an emergency situation, and it calls for drastic tactics. So that's what I'm gonna do.
All right, we'll give you your piece later on in the show. All right, boys, you ready to talk about this episode of Charge?
Let's do it.
All right, starting off tonight's Charge is a JK Pop sighting. That's how we're starting off Charge this evening. I'm not going to get into it too much. I'll have Coastal begin, and then Lucas will follow right behind him with this. Obviously, you can tell the tactics that JK Pop is trying to show here this evening.
Yeah, they're trying to do what they always do and weasel their way back in. And how does it end up for them tonight? They end up on their backs looking up at the lights, and that's the same way they wound up at losing the belts. So now they have proven that La Isla is getting the better of them. They're getting frustrated. Also tonight, and now I know Lola had a match later, but there was no other law office people out there to help JK Pop, or even to be out there with them. I'm getting a little worried that maybe the law office and JK Pop might not be on the same plane anymore, Lucas. I think maybe POS has moved on? I don't know, but they wind up on their backs looking up at the lights tonight.
Yes. I think they might have a new merchandise item. You know, they have the Green Mist hot sauce. I think now they have a new cologne called Eau de JK Poop Inspiration, you know, as they are desperation, because they are getting desperate, and this reeks of desperation. We have seen them kind of not being like themselves, not nearly as cocky, and this just looks like a team that's lost. And you're right with what you said about Preston. Preston looks to be like he realizes that JK Pop may no longer be his money ticket. I mean, there's a new new ticket to hold on to, and that may be the Lola ticket. So we'll talk about that later on too.
Well, I mean, you take a look, and Preston gets 10%, and when you're champs, 10% is a lot. But when you don't have any gold and you can't go for that gold again, maybe POS is like, hey, Lola can get gold, and Sky can get gold, and I don't need to hang out with these other two anymore.
True. Yeah. There's definitely Preston can be the most annoying person on earth, but he is a pretty smart guy. As much as that pains me to say. So we are going to see exactly where the law office goes from here. But it looks like it's going down the toilet for JK Poop.
Yeah.
And as we saw backstage after what happened between them and La Isla, the worries are starting to mount a little bit as far as Preston is concerned. It's gotten to the point where Preston's like, just let them do their own thing. Let them figure it out on their own. Meanwhile, Lola and Sky seem to be on the up and up on the law office recently.
Yeah, well, later on tonight, I don't know if I want to be in the office.
Well, in the office, yeah.
Yeah.
That I'm sure by now has yellow tape all around it and is corded off, and yeah.
Special Officer Derek Stone is there to investigate.
No, wasn't Derek Stone at the asylum itself?
I don't know. He's Special Officer Derek Stone.
Yeah, he made a little visit to the asylum, and that we have to talk about here in a little bit too.
Well, let's move on to our first match of the evening, and it does involve your number one contender for the Lockets Championship, Lola the Adventurer, as she takes on Rachel Armstrong here, newcomer to RMP. What did you think about this one? This one was actually rather short, surprisingly.
It was, but it's Lola doing Lola things. It's what she's been doing now for the past 4 or 5 months. Getting a W. She figures out how to win, and tonight it doesn't take her that long. She's got a map to victories right now, and as we said just a few moments ago, I think Preston has figured this out, and he is sensing a new meal ticket for himself. She wins tonight quickly, and it's a statement win. It needs to be. She's the number one contender, and what she's going up against is terrifying, and she needs to be ready, and I hope she is ready. And tonight, she looked like she was ready over somebody who's been pretty successful lately.
Yeah, Rachel Armstrong is a hell of a competitor. She's been making a lot of noise out in the Midwest. So getting a win over such a great athlete like Rachel Armstrong is a big feather in the cap for Lola the Adventurer, and it gives her a lot of momentum that she's going to need going into peak of the pack, because JC has really been an unstoppable force, and so Lola's going to need every bit of momentum and every bit of luck and success that she can get. And don't forget that when you take on JC, and more than likely you're going to have Noelle out there, you're going to have Salem Wolf out there, it's still going to be a hell of a tall task for Lola. But definitely she looks to be probably at the peak, pardon the pun, of her career right now. This really seems to be as good as Lola as we've seen maybe ever.
All right. Speaking of the asylum, before they had their escapade over at the law office, they had a special visitor this evening. And one Derek Stone, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Lucas, what did you think about Derek Stone's investigative tactics going into the asylum like that?
Yeah, he tries to do his best Law and Order SVU impression, and kind of gets a little aggressive, especially with when it comes to Maxine. You know, he doesn't like anybody to disrespect Maxine, and he especially doesn't like anybody to put their hands on Maxine. I mean, what kind of monsters do that? And so he was there to put a nip that in the bud, so to speak, as he was not intimidated by JC, although JC was willing to get right up in Derek Stone's face, and we almost saw a confrontation there. But yeah, Derek is unhinged, to say the least, and that's coming from me. So we've got like the craziest commentary team ever on Ignition, and so Derek Stone is. He doesn't care. He doesn't care if you're the Asylum. He doesn't care if you're David Drake. You don't threaten Maxine, and I've witnessed that firsthand. So the Asylum might have finally met someone they're not going to be able to intimidate in Derek Stone.
I don't think you can intimidate Derek Stone. He walked into the Asylum like he owned the place. Does he belong there? I don't know, but he absolutely was there for a purpose, and it was to defend the honor of Maxine. And you say he wasn't scared of JC. Let's factor in another thing. JC had a crowbar in her hand, and he's just walking all up, pointing, Salem right in the chest there, and telling him not to ever put his hands on Maxine again. Bravo to Derek Stone. Maybe Derek Stone is the one we need to lead the charge against all the terrible things happening at Rocky Mountain Pro.
Yeah, be careful what you wish for, though. We could take it too far to the other end.
Hey, you know what? We know he'll definitely clean everything up, him and Maxine, and he'll lower the broom if he has to.
Yes, they'll sweep all of this under the rug, for sure.
Absolutely.
All right. Before we continue, we have a little debate going on here in chat. Salem versus Stone. Who do you got?
In a straight up fight?
Not specifically. Let's just say wrestling match to be PG.
Oh, Stone.
Well, yeah. I mean,
one-on-one, I'm taking Stone.
Yeah, Derek Stone.
You can't play mind games with Derek Stone.
Right. Even with a bad wheel, he's legitimately one of the strongest men we've ever had in Rocky Mountain Pro. So, yeah. What? Salem Wolf will have some kind of game plan, and he is a very evil man. So you cannot put anything past Salem Wolf. He'd probably have 100 orderlies to have his back or something. So it would be brains versus brawn in that matchup.
You can't play mind games with Derek Stone, though. You can pull up residence in his head and hang out with everybody else.
Speaking of mind games, that's what Chris D said. Need a mind to play mind games with.
Good point.
All right, before we continue again, guys, if you're watching on YouTube and you haven't done that yet, please hit that like button and make sure you subscribe to Rocky Mountain Pro to make sure you don't miss any Dudes and Belts content or any episodes of Charges or Ignitions on Thursdays. You want to make sure you are up to date and you know everything that's going on going into Peak of the Pack, because that's next Friday, ladies and gentlemen. We are rapidly closing in on April 28th. And after that, folks, we're on the road to Milestone. It's the busiest time of the year for Rocky Mountain Pro, so make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and make sure you go through all the archives and the past shows over the past few weeks so you can get caught up leading up to Peak of the Pack next Friday. All right. Moving on here, we have tag team action. We have CBD, Carson Drake, and Brett Shea going up against the likely now, I guess you could say, by the way they made their entrance tonight, Zamore and Remy D. The Ignition champion and the Charge champion teaming up tonight.
We're going to call them the tag team television champions, man, because they're both the TV show champions. Got the Charge title on Remy, got the Ignition title on Zamore.
How about that entrance by Zamore, though?
You know what? I give big props to Zamore. That was awesome. I give him that. I want to talk about the middle part of this match to the end here, where Remy D just completely dominated CDB. And it is, with next Friday coming up, and those two having a title match, there's two things we can take out of this. We know Remy is always ready, and Remy is at top peak performance. He always is. he comes to play no matter what. If it's Ignition, Charged, pay-per-view, Rumble in the Loud House, whatever it is, Remy shows up and Remy's a gamer. CBD surprised me here because he may have used his bag of tricks a little too early. He gets the win for his team tonight with the feet on the ropes. I understand you want to be rolling, Lucas, going into a pay-per-view, and you get a big win over the current champ who you have a match with. But did you use the trick play in the second quarter instead of the fourth here? Was it too early? Did you give Remy a peek into your bag of tricks?
There's two ways to look at it. You could look at it that way, but you could also look at it the other way. Maybe he's giving Remy's the old okey doke and to try to have him be worried about something else, and he's got something else up his sleeve. I can tell you this about Carson Drake. He is a highly intelligent young athlete, and he knows a lot of dirty tricks. You know, although he's a young man, he is a student of the kind of the old school game, and I can tell you that a guy that he obviously patterns himself after is a guy by the name of Ric Flair. And we all know Ric Flair, known as the dirtiest player of the game. Ric Flair had a lot more than just a couple tricks up his sleeve. I think Carson will have something else for Remy. So Remy's got to be prepared for a bunch of stuff. And this could just be one of those kind of messages being sent by Carson Drake to maybe try to get in the head of Remy D a little bit.
You also got to watch out for you got the Ric Flair influences, and you also got the Jimmy Hart influences. That megaphone could come into play, too. You never know.
Yeah, a lot of old school vibes when you're watching Carson Drake. Not all of them good, but yeah, a lot of old school vibes.
Zummo Remy. That's what Chris D is calling the team.
Or Remy Z.
Remy Z. Or
there you go.
Zamordi.
Oh, God.
Zamori.
We're going to spend 15 minutes trying to come up with a team name for these two.
Beauty and the Z.
Ooh, I like that.
He's come up with two bangers right there. Look at that. Lucas is on fire tonight. All right.
Yeah, that RMP therapist is paying off there, Dean. Yeah.
It looks like it, yeah.
I hope it wasn't Lilith.
Yeah, it wasn't Lilith. Although I think if I went to the asylum, he would be available. We saw him a little later on too.
Yeah.
All right. Going back to the law office, boys. And this is a visit to the law office that I'm pretty sure nobody wanted to be a part of.
Yeah, this descended really, really bad. It's bad. I think Preston has an opening for a new assistant. You guys can feel free to go to the law office and apply for that if you can get through the caution tape. He needs to pay his power bill, apparently. Or I don't know if it was he didn't pay it or he let the wrong people in the building. I don't know here, but the asylum has come and wreaked havoc with the be careful what you wish for, because they're going to deliver. And this was, I think, Lucas, just a taste of the horribleness that Salem brings to any encounter that you're in. He's made Lilith's life a living hell, and she didn't even ask for it. And now Preston seemingly beat down the asylum's door to get a one-on-one here, and this is what you get? I'm going to bow out anything to do with Salem Wolf. This man's insane.
Yeah, you used an interesting choice of words by we got a taste of what's going to happen. Apparently, JC got a taste of Jamie, the poor assistant who
former assistant, I believe.
Former assistant, yeah. If there's going to be any services, I can send some flowers, I guess.
Yeah.
That was disturbing.
That was a heck of an exit interview.
Yes. I don't think he's going to leave a good Yelp review for the law office, I don't believe.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so you guys better check your LinkedIn and make sure that you see that that opening for Preston's assistant being wide open there. Oh, boy. I don't know what's going on here.
We never said the D word there in chat. Allegedly, we never said anything. They just, I don't believe they're employed at the law office any longer.
Yeah, if he is alive, I don't think he'll be coming back to work. I'm pretty sure there's got to be some hazard pay or something. I don't know.
Well, Preston
what's
just
the insurance like for the law office?
Preston just can kind of semi-confirm. I definitely will be taking applications.
What's the benefits package like? Do you have like armed security?
Triple I was asking about that too. Actually, last Sunday, you missed it, Coastal. He was trying to get recruited to the asylum. Surprisingly.
Didn't he try and do that with Legion?
Yes, he
Does
did.
Triple I have a
yes.
dark side we don't know about?
I don't know.
Could you see him in all black with his little the Triple I eyeliner on and the little wristbands, just being like,
I don't know.
Triple I, I'd love it. Oh my god, I'd love it.
I heard the only real benefit is you get all the free orange attire that you can wear. Is what I heard.
Sure. Triple I would be a great addition to the law office. He has a solid comprehension of law and order.
He does watch a lot of TV.
He does watch a lot of TV. You're not kidding.
I would love to see POS and Triple I argue a case together. What a team. That's the dream team. That's the real law dream team.
Free orange juice at breakfast too. Okay, see, I'd be down for that.
See, now I'm going to the big top because 9 and Happy said I get all the candy I can have and I get to hang out and play in the circus. So
You guys are still under contract with me for another 10 years. What are you talking about?
I
got to keep our options open, John.
Yeah,
I'm
apparently.
getting paid
Jeez.
to hang out at the circus. You don't get paid. You get paid in candy from 9.
Triple I has what it takes. Oh boy. You know what we need to do? This is giving me an idea. It gave me a very good idea. I think we need to have Preston on for a membership only live chat session.
You know what though? It's got to
months
be
from now.
It's got to be one of those nice classy ones. We'll get Triple I. He can sit there in a nice chair and he can have inside the actor's studio and Triple I will interview Preston.
Oh my god. Well, you got to remember he's going to be on Sunday the entire show starting in a couple weeks. So
that is true.
Oh wait, so Preston says Triple I has what it takes. So it takes a crap ton of lotion to work at the law office then.
And very interesting eating habits.
yeah, very interesting eating habits. But I guess the asylum offers 401k. Did you know that?
I was sure they offered death and dismemberment, but I wasn't sure about 401k.
Well, the whole pool, they do have life insurance too, by the way, in case you were wondering.
Oh, I'm sure they have excellent life insurance. Burial too.
I'd hope so.
What about bereavement pay? Do they get bereavement pay?
That I don't think was brought up in Triple I's negotiation.
I think you actually have to care, to have feelings, to have bereavement.
True. All right. Well, Triple I may not
I don't
be
think
around.
bereavement counts for the people that caused it.
All right. We need to move on because there's still a lot to talk about. We could talk about what happened on Sunday for at least another hour because it was a very eventful night. Which, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't seen the membership-only live stream that we had when Noel joined, it is up on the YouTube channel and is open to the public to watch. You guys can go ahead and watch what happened on Sunday, and you'll be able to understand what we are talking about as it pertains to Triple I. Literally in a I guess you could say a recruitment battle between the asylum and Preston. So, all right, more tag team action here on Charge. Kansas Luchas, haven't seen them in a little while, going up against your now number one contenders for La Isla at Peak of the Pack, Gino Rivera and Nathan Estrada.
Yeah, the odd couple. And they certainly were odd tonight, but Gino came out of the gate. He and our buddy Angel Depot, they had a really good back and forth. I thought when Bruisador came in, they had the advantage, but he was just, I don't know like, I understand he's one of the luchas, but maybe flying around that quick isn't the thing. He got to do some punishment first because he immediately comes in, goes for that big splash, and kind of loses all the momentum that Angel De Pas had going. Now he gets it back, and they really do kind of gain the momentum here. And this is where it gets to the end, and Gino Rivera does Gino Rivera things. I told you so. He was gonna do this, and he sprays Cruzador right in the face with Nathan's wonderful hairspray that he comes out with to make sure that fro's looking on point, which it always does. Mr. Estrada, you have wonderful hair. And at the end of the night, we find out he has a wonderful super kick because he has had enough of Gino running his mouth and Gino thinking that he runs the show. When Nathan wants an equal partnership, and that's all he wants. He just wants Gino to act respectable, and he's not doing that. And he kicks him right in the mush for his troubles tonight and walks off. And I cannot wait to see what happens here coming up when they have the number one contendership. Can they coexist? I don't know. Maybe, hopefully for Nathan Estrada, he kicks some sense into Gino tonight, Lucas.
That's what I was going to say. I know this sounds crazy, but this might have been the best thing for Nathan Estrada to do. What I think that the kick might have done is it might have shown Gino that Nathan's got a little fight to him. Nathan's got a little gusto to him, and he might not be such a bad partner to have after all. Hopefully that Gino can see this and be like, you know what? I need to work with this kid because we might have something. And that's what I've said all along. I think that if Gino really would work with Nathan Estrada, they could be a hell of a tag team. Gino is a highly successful veteran that has done some amazing things in this wrestling business. And Nathan Estrada is a rising star that I think has a ton of potential. And if Gino could somehow tap into that potential, these two could be a major threat to La Isla. Now, the problem is I don't know if they have enough time to really get on the same page. But, had they done this, had they kind of gotten on the same page earlier, and we don't know if they are going to be on the same page because a kick in the mouth doesn't necessarily mean that. I'm just hypothesizing here, but this is a team that could be something, and we'll have to see if they can come together in time for Pick of the Pack.
All right, a couple things I saw in chat. The Chris D, gonna read a couple comments from him. I want to say, just in case, we don't know for sure that Jamie didn't attack first, and also said JC could have a self-defense case. At the law office, not the asylum. At the law office, not the asylum.
It was dark. There were no lights. You get scared in the dark.
But again, they're at the law office, not the asylum.
Was the law office, was it locked?
Was it open
to begin with? Was it open for was it open for business? Was it that there's a lot of things that we need to investigate.
Oh, here we go. We got Preston working overtime here. That's hearsay and conjecture. Is there a tag team called Froud So?
I was going to say Froyo.
Yeah.
Like YOLO, but Frollo.
Oh, yeah.
Not that great.
I kind of like this one, though, because Gino's the told you so.
Oh, yeah.
And then the Froud You So. I like that. We're coming up with some clever names here for these tag teams. All right.
If Gino is the Frank Sinatra of the Spanish Mafia, does that make Nathan Estrada like Jerry Lewis?
I don't know.
I was gonna say maybe the Sammy Davis Jr. maybe.
Oh yeah,
there you
that
go.
could be it.
There you go. All right. We kind of semi-covered what happened at the law office. Because this is where we found Jamie.
Are we allowed to talk about what happened? Is that an ongoing investigation?
I don't know. I don't know if he's alive or dead. There was a lot of blood on that window and a lot of blood on JC.
Yeah.
And she was licking it. All right, can we talk about that for a second? She was licking the blood.
I don't want
Which
to.
is why I have a hard time thinking that it's self-defense on JC's half.
Well, and she had a crowbar in her hand.
I know.
Who comes back in a crowbar?
They all three had weapons. All three of them.
Yeah, what did Noelle have?
Who gave Noelle a samurai
Noelle
sword?
had like a big, I don't know, it was like a big,
It's like katana.
yeah, it's a big, yeah, it was a big bar of some kind. And then
Who gave her that?
Salem.
Salem had what was it, a freaking meat cleaver, it looked like.
What is happening here?
Yeah, the Rocky Mountains Devil's Rejects.
Clearly. This is going to be your next horror film for 2024, I have a funny feeling.
Well, they have the perfect co-star. We find out later. They ought to invite him over. Drake fit in great over there with that.
Okay, Christy goes, okay, but how else should she clean herself? I think there's a thing called a tub.
A shower.
Shower. Hose. Don't use holy water because I think she'll melt.
There's rivers, there's ponds. As long as it's not contaminated with different stuff, I think that'll be okay.
Most of the stuff we'll be scared of the asylum, though. So.
I mean, there is a thing as soap. That's like $2 now, but there is soap. JC scares me. She's death wrapped in a beautiful Brazilian woman. Wonder Woman. Okay. And Queen goes, yay, blood, mwahaha.
Of course she would.
Yeah. I don't know what facilities they have at the office. Preston, you could probably continue that conversation.
I'm pretty sure Butcher Shop isn't one of them. Nor do I think they have a.
Well, it is now. It is now.
Well,
'Cause I'm pretty sure nobody's going to set up in that office ever again.
no, I'm pretty sure the word you're looking for is a crime scene, is what that is now. Crime scene.
It's like your law office is going to get knocked down, and somebody's going to buy it for cheap.
Who asked? Who are you going to ask for the restroom key?
You had a crowbar.
Could have just opened the door
Could
with
have
it.
just opened the
That's
goddamn
kind
door.
of, that's kind of a skeleton key. That's the universal key for everything, really.
Well, apparently Lola knows how to pick locks too.
Can we talk about that?
Sure
Can we talk
that
about
Lola
that?
knows how to do that for a very wholesome reason.
Wait,
Okay?
hold up. Can we mention the fact that she actually cared about Caden and Johnny for a second?
Did you notice she said she cared about Cade?
Yes, she said that
and
first.
then Johnny.
She said that first.
So,
yeah, and there's
Johnny was
something
an
weird.
afterthought,
Yeah,
which is
something
normal.
weird.
And then Lucas, Preston goes, I plead the fifth. I mean, I guess she could have asked Lola for the lockpick and not use a crowbar.
Well, I mean, you don't know what Lola has in her backpack. It's full of everything you need at the right time. I'm hoping that she had, mace or a taser or, a hand cannon or something in there to protect herself when she goes to the law office next time.
I think at peak of the pack, she better be well prepared at all costs. I think the law office is supposed to be at ringside, that match.
She needs to be Lola the Warrior of that match instead of the Adventurer.
All right, you guys ready to talk about what happened after that?
Yeah.
Because there was a
Let's do
lot
it.
that happened. We have Sledge in his in-ring segment here, calling up El Presidente Danger Dean, trying to get some answers. Dean trying to calm him down. And then once again, seems like Dean, once every few months, just gets punched in the mouth for doing his job. Your thoughts on everything that happened, because it wasn't just Sledge and Dean. There was a lot that happened during this whole entire segment, along with Yaden, along with Damon, along with Sin Bodhi. Chaos everywhere. There's referees everywhere. What did you guys make of this?
You described it perfect, Johnny. It was chaos. It is Sledge has snapped. He has done a complete 180 back to the old Sledge that we saw about a year ago at this time. David Drake has driven him off the deep end. He feels he was justified hitting Drake. Do I agree with him? Yeah, I do. Was it the right place and time? Absolutely not. Get your W, hold the title up, then beat the crap out of him with a pipe. I don't care. He's done it to enough people. But he just couldn't. And then he just starts. We need to get Ryan Justice to stand next to Danger Dean, because for some reason people want to punch Dean in the face, and Ryan Justice has the most punchable face I know. That'll help out Dean. So, Dean, that's an idea from the Crusader right there. Get Ryan Justice to stand next to you. He's got a much more punchable face. And then, as all of this is breaking down, Yaden comes out. As we saw at the end of last week, Yaden and Sledge got into it because Sledge put his hands on Dewey. You don't do that. Yaden comes out again tonight, try and help Dean. Damon comes out because Damon still is not over this just infatuation he has with trying to beat Yaden. And I say trying because he hasn't been successful yet. And sticks his nose in there, and then Sin Bodhi comes out to try and get himself a piece of Sledge. We know they have back and forth. While this is all going on, in the back, another crime is taking place, Lucas. And that monster is dragging what it appears to be Dak Draper from the boots off in a tarp. What is going on there, Lucas? What is going on?
Well, before I give my my feedback on this, I've got a little rant. Let's quickly say a big thank you to Johnny Deathdrop with the 99-cent super chat.
That's still not enough for coffee, Johnny. What are you doing?
Hey, back in 1994 it was.
Yeah, but this 2023 is still not
the
enough.
coffee out in Denver's like $4.
It's true.
Yeah.
Alleged kidnapping. Oh boy.
What?
How do you allege something? We witnessed it.
Yes, we there was those were definitely Dak Draper's boots in the frickin' body bag that was getting dragged out of the Wimmer.
All right, I'll give you this. It could have been Sergey. He likes to borrow people's boots and clothes.
Yeah, but he's been wrestling without shoes the past 3 weeks.
Who, Sergey?
Yes, on Ignition. You'll find that out on Thursday, sir. Don't worry.
Hey, he needed boots. Maybe they're onto something here. Maybe. Devil's advocate. Maybe.
All right. I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead, Lucas.
I'm not going to give David Drake a benefit of a doubt. Okay. Now I know that I'm here alive after 2 kidnappings, but I know what this guy's capable of, and I know what his end game really is. It's to absolutely terrorize the entire Rocky Mountain Pro roster, and he will do that one by one if he has to, and that is what he's doing right now. That's what he's been doing since becoming the Colorado Cup winner. And I think that a lot of this, and I know this is going to sound very bad coming from me, but I think a lot of this is falls on the hands of Danger Dean. And I know. Listen, I know Dean only do so much, but he allows David Drake to continue to wrestle and continue to be the champion. He's got the power to not only strip this man, but to ban him from Rocky Mountain Pro, and it hasn't been done. And I don't completely blame Sledge for his reaction. And what Sledge said was absolutely correct when he said that you disqualify me and he doesn't get another title shot, but yet David Drake is allowed to continue to do what he has done over and over and over. And it pains me to say that because I love Danger Dean. I think he's, probably one of the most beloved figures in all of Rocky Mountain Pro, probably one of the most important figures in the history of our company. But I think that a lot of this falls in his hands because of his failure to do anything. And now we've just getting more chaos where, now the asylum is killing people or allegedly we've seen all kinds of crazy things that are just allowed to be happen. And I know that Danger Dean can't do everything, but something has to be done before, what more is going to happen? What more is it going to take that, who else is going to have to come up missing or presumed dead for this to stop?
First off, thank you for the $10 in combined super chats. I was kidding about the coffee. It's been a running joke. But thank you for the $10 between Twisted Chase and 91 and Queen Vampires. Get that out of the way. Second of all, that still doesn't give you the right to lay the finger on El Presidente. He's a retired wrestler.
No, I agree with that. That he crossed the line with punching Dean. He did not deserve to get punched. I know that's my frustration kind of is saying that, but he definitely did not deserve to get punched. But I understand Sledge's frustration, though.
We all do. We all do. He's been through the brunt along with you. He's dealt with so much of David Drake's stuff. I completely understand why he is extremely angry. There's one thing to disqualify yourself in a match just based off of pure retaliation and vengeance. It's another thing to go after Dewey Larson, and there's another reason to sucker punch Dean. There has to be a line that can't be crossed no matter what. And who knows what's going to happen. And I understand your frustration as well, Lucas. It makes perfect sense. You just want to see change. You want to see this end because it's been happening to a lot of people. Hell, it happened to Dak Draper tonight, or we assume just based on the boots that we saw.
Yeah, I don't want to go to work, to do my job and have to worry about whether or not I'm going to be able to come home that night. That's my frustration. And Zamore, thank you with the $4.99 super chat, and I take it that's directed towards me. Get some sleep. Don't be tortured. I try not to be, but then I watch stuff like what happened tonight on Charged. I was doing good, and then I watch this horror show on Charged, and I get PTSD watching this because it's hard to watch when we're just trying to entertain people, and you got psychos that are taking people out left and right.
Coastal, your take on what Lucas said.
No, I get it. I do. I think
You think there needs to be a change?
I think there's a fine line to walk here for safety reasons, because Lucas, as you know, Drake doesn't discriminate. So if Dean strips him, Dean is putting himself straight in the crosshairs as well.
That I understand, and that could be what he's thinking. I know he's got a young daughter. I know that he's got a lot of people to look out for, and I understand. And it's wrong of me to put this solely in the hands of Dean, but it's just my frustration boiling over. And Dean, you are doing a great job. I know that my rant there probably sounds like I'm not appreciative, but I definitely am. Things boil over, and I'm sure that Dean probably has been staying up late, probably not getting much sleep, thinking about what his next move is to take care of things.
All right, we had a couple super chats
We're
here.
gonna have the buddy system now. Whenever you're there, you need to pick a buddy. Nobody goes anywhere alone.
All right, we had Zamori, which was just mentioned by Lucas. Preston with $1.99, who allegedly has higher body count or has a higher body count, JC or Drake? I think as of right now, it's Drake.
It's Drake. For right now, all we know that JC has really gotten rid of was this Jamie guy.
And some orderlies from time to time.
Yeah, true. Are they? But we can't put any names to their faces.
No, we can't.
So.
No. Danger Dean, as a former wrestler, the last thing I want to do is disrupt someone's title run. I'll let them fight it out. That's why I don't mind putting myself in the front lines, like I said. It takes a special kind of person to do this job. And then Dean goes, I get it. That's why I gave Sledge the platform.
And that's why Dean is a stand-up guy. As I trying to calm myself down here, I understand that his job is is getting harder and harder every week, and he's right. You can't disrupt someone's title run, but when people are breaking laws, I don't know what's the protocol for that, and there's the thing, there is no protocol, so I don't know what before, I would do if I was Dean.
It probably hasn't happened before in RMP history that somebody like Drake is going around doing stuff like he's doing. Dean goes, I'll admit more murders have happened under my presidency than any other in RMP history. Well, allegedly murders. Allegedly. YouTube allegedly. But he's working on it, he says. Don't break the law and do your taxes. That's what Meth Rollins has to say about that. way to chime in there.
I don't know about the do your taxes part. Screw do your taxes. The taxes are theft. But that's just my take.
All right, and just going back to what we saw at the end here, obviously, Yaden and Damon again. This looks like this is not going to stop anytime soon. I don't know what you guys' take on this whole blood feud right now that's boiling over every waking moment, every week that we see charged. There's always something between Damon and Yaden.
But it's one-sided, Johnny. It's always Damon being the aggressor. It's like Yaden is trying to get rid of Damon. He's beat him a couple times now. He's trying to move on, and Damon will not move on. He just won't do it. It's starting to get a little sad, honestly, a little bit for Damon. He keeps, poking the bear and not getting it done. When is it enough? When is it enough, Damon?
Yeah. Well, with Damon, we know it's not done until he says it's done. He is probably the most pig-headed person I've ever met. We saw how he was with Balaam Lynx. Balaam had gotten the best of Damon over and over, and Damon still refused to let it go. So this is something that could carry on for God knows how long.
And Damon could be the guy that could stop your Drake problem too. If he could ever get his mind off of Yaden.
Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we tell if he takes care of Drake, he can have Yaden again. Problem solved.
That actually might work. It's possible.
Coastal, you need to have a new business, my friend. Problem solver.
Dean,
that's
Dean,
genius.
We'll talk about that, Dean.
Yeah,
maybe that it's
perfect timing when the president's still in chat too to bring that up. That might be something to look into. That might solve your problem, Danger Dean, and make it for the RMP title. There you go.
Yeah,
the best of both worlds.
Unfortunately, then you have a Damon problem, but one problem at a time.
And then also in this scrum It started off with Yaden and Sledge again. We thought they were going to go at it more. Simbodi comes out, and we know that Simbodi has an issue with Sledge and that they've been eyeing each other over the course of the past couple weeks here, leading up to this whole showdown that we saw at the end of the show tonight. Simbodi and Sledge, what is your thoughts on this and how this is going to progress going forward?
I'm pretty sure that Sledge, I don't know if he felt disrespected by Sin Bodhi, or I'm pretty sure Sin Bodhi felt disrespected by Sledge.
Because this all happened during the handicap match against the three-ring circus, right? That's where it all started?
It really did. I don't know. Sledge frustration boils over, and then Sin Bodhi's the man that, honestly, you just don't screw around with. He's, as much as he's the warlord of weird, he's also a very serious man, and if you screw with him, he's going to take it out on you, and that's what he's trying to get. He feels disrespected.
Yeah, Sledge's frustrations and stuff has really gotten the best of him over this past couple months. This rivalry with Drake, and it's gotten him into some situations that I don't think he planned for, but it's gotten him into this Sin Bodhi situation that Sin. Yeah, you're right. Sin is the warlord of weird and seems to be kind of a fun-loving guy and stuff until you piss him off. And when you piss him off, he's as dangerous as anybody that we've seen in Rocky Mountain Pro. As violent and as vicious as Sledge is, Sin Bodhi can be just as violent and vicious. So this could be a very volatile situation if this goes any further.
And all that ends with the visual of David Drake with a body bag of somebody in there. And from what we saw, it had the double D's on the boots. Not chest, boots. Assuming that it was Dax Draper. Allegedly.
Certainly appeared that way.
And that is how we end charge.
Those are definitely David Drake's boots, guys. I've seen I'm sorry, not David Drake. Dax Draper. They're both double D's, so yeah. Yeah, those are definitely Dax Draper's boots. I've seen Dax attire, seen him bring in his bag and get out. Those are definitely the boots that he wears, and let's just hope that he's okay. I who knows where the hell he's at now.
And that was the last visual of Rocky Mountain Pro Charge tonight. Final thoughts on this episode before we go through everything we need to go through before we wrap up tonight's show.
Something has got to be done about David Drake. And we need to figure out a solution to this problem before more people end up disappearing and hurt.
Yeah, we've got there's a lot of issues going on right now. It's not just David Drake. It's the asylum. It's, still doesn't look like Damon Ace is done with Yaden. There's just so many unfinished things going on, and we're just 10 days away from peak of the pack, and there's just so much questions and things, and then we're going to be going into milestone season really soon. This is just very volatile situation to be heading into such a big event.
There's a few of those. Damon and Yaden, Sledge, and whoever he's going to take the heads off. Drake. The asylum. A lot of question marks.
Lilith,
we didn't even mention her tonight because she wasn't on the show, but we saw what happened last week. She's getting very violent now. Peak of the pack.
everything's boiling to milestone.
Well, not just milestone. Peak of the pack. You got to get through
Oh,
that
that's just
first.
That's more heat on the fire.
They got to get through that first. Speaking of Peak of the Pack, ladies and gentlemen, April 28th is when Peak of the Pack is going to be held at the Wimmer Arena at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. As of right now, currently, we have technically 4 matches, although we haven't gone into detail about the 4th match yet as of right now. 3 official matches were set in stone tonight on Charge. We have the Lockettes Championship. We have JC versus Lola the Adventurer for that title. I'm assuming the law office will be all and accounted for at ringside. I think would have to be, considering what happened about an hour and a half ago. And I'm sure the Asylum will be in JC's corner. So that's a very volatile situation right there. Can't talk tonight. We have La Isla going up against Gino Rivera and Nathan Estrada for the tag team titles. We'll see how Gino and Nathan do against La Isla, given that whole situation that's going on. And also confirm we have the Charge Championship match between Carson Drake, CBD, going up against the Beauty and the Beast, Remy D. And of course, we have the Peak of the Pack match, which you guys will know exactly what the Peak of the Pack match is probably at the very latest next week. And on top of that, us, the dudes, along with Lucas and whoever else we have on, we will help you kind of understand what the Peak of the Pack match is. The only thing that you have to know is that it has very high implications for Milestone. The winner of that particular match will be your number 1 contender and will main event Milestone 13 against whoever the Rocky Mountain Pro champion is at that current time. We're just going to assume it's David Drake right now. Other than that, do we have any live shows this weekend, Lucas?
No, there are. I don't know if you guys knew this, but we are official sponsors of the Roller Derby Girls out here in Colorado. So they are having a roller derby, I believe this Saturday, and it should be. I believe it's going to be on our YouTube channel, I believe. So it will be. It should be live streamed. So anybody who wants to check that out, if you're in the Denver area, come. Get more information at rmpwrestling.com. You can also go to the Roller Derby Girls page, Facebook page. I believe we have a link on there. So there'll be a lot of our people there. So come say hi, and if you're not in town, watch it on YouTube.
All right, we have. Can't believe I'm saying this. Johnny Deathdrop. What about Noel? Well, if you saw last Sunday night during the members-only live chat that we had with Noelle in person, she seems to have her mind focused on Lilith Grimm right now. Now, that match is not official or anything like that as of right now, but that could change. All that I can tell you is that it seems like Noelle and Lilith could be on a collision course at some point. So that's all I can say about that.
Then you got Preston in chat saying, "Let's go, Gino and the other guy. We're rooting for you." Remember, you root with your eyes and you can clap. You don't root with steel chairs and powder.
Well, technically they have to root, because if somehow, some way, Gino and Nathan takes those tag titles, JK Pop can compete for those titles again.
Yeah, and remember, if you get disqualified now, you lose those titles, even if it's not your fault.
Yeah, you know they're gonna have something planned. So La Isla now has something else to worry about.
God. Noel is just a delusional delinquent. Nothing but trouble, that one. Well, whether she's delusional or not,
she's terrifying.
There is another collision course coming at some point. Other than that, at least on our end, I think we are back with the Rewind on Sunday, and we have Reignited on Thursday. with this guy. This guy's
And
actually
I'll
going to
be
make
here.
a return finally, and we will actually have our Beacon of the Weeks back. So,
Roland's all done for the year.
so that's what you got looking for. Oh my God! All right, that's what you
That's what you got to
have.
look forward to.
That's what you have to look forward to this week of Rocky Mountain Pro content here this week. I'm going to wrap up now because I am starting to get tired, as you can tell.
Yeah.
Again, guys, if you haven't liked the video, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell so you guys don't miss a single episode of Dudes and Belts content or Rocky Mountain Pro content during the week. And don't forget, Peak of the Pack will be on Fite TV. It will not be on YouTube. I think the pre-show is going to be on YouTube, but after that, it's going to go right to Fite TV, and you guys will be able. Are they able to pre-order Lucas yet for Fite?
I actually do not know. I will have an answer for you guys by Ignition. I will look into that.
Okay. So we'll have an answer by Ignition on whether you can pre-order the show this week. I believe it's still $12.99, so $12.99 will get you the pay-per-view, and not only do you get to pay for the pay-per-view that night, once you pay for it, it's yours for life. You get to keep that pay-per-view as much as you want. You can watch it as much as you want. That's the beauty of Fite, is that they give you an archive of what you pay for, so you can watch everything over and over and over again. Pretty cool setup. Other than that, I think we are going to wrap everything up tonight. Again, we thank you guys so much for watching. Again, another hectic charge. The go-home charge is next Tuesday, followed by a go-home episode of Ignition, and then Peak of the Pack. So we are 10 days away from all hell breaking loose from the looks of it. So, for myself, Johnny Deathdrop, Ghost Crusader, Lucas Bradwell, we will see you guys on Thursday for another episode of Ignition. You'll see Lucas on the table for that. And Dudes and Belts Reignited. You'll be seeing myself, Coastal, and Marky Pins here live for the review and post-show of what you guys saw in Ignition. As always, folks, stay safe, stay classy. We'll see you on the